Well, good, that should say Thursday, sorry. I forgot to change that. It is Thursday morning. Woo! Yeah, that was a long night, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, but I got a little extra sleep this morning, that's why I'm coming on late. Now we got it right. Today is Thursday, April 3rd, and I'm Chris Allen. Thank you for tuning in to 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. So, yeah, what a night. Um, I am grateful uh, that we did not get anything worse than what we did. Again, it was one of those situations where the potential was there for tornadoes, but a lot of that tornadic energy, if you will, was spent far to the west of us, places like Oklahoma and Arkansas. I mean, they had some big tornadoes, devastating tornadoes. Um, Here, we had a few tornado warnings, but nothing that turned out to be, we think, an actual tornado. There were some spin ups and things like that, but nothing that really raised a red flag. We'll look around today now that we've got some daylight and we'll inspect some of those suspect places where maybe something. And a lot of you sent us pictures last night at News 40 of low hanging wall cloud and some rotation that was going on. I mean, it was close. It was very close to being a tornado in a couple of places where you guys saw funnel clouds and wall clouds and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a night. Tonight, I don't think it's going to be quite as active, but there is a severe weather threat. And this morning, the big news is the flooding. We've got a lot of it. So let's get to it. Let's start with the Plano cam. As you can see, it's pretty quiet. There's rain falling. It's hard to see, but rain is falling, and it doesn't want to stop. I mean, it's the front is now parked right over Kentucky, and it's just going to keep raining. And at times the rain will be heavy. At other times it'll be just like a gentle, light rain. But the rain isn't going to stop that much. There may be short breaks or pauses in the rain, but as far as the rain going away, nope, nope, not going to happen. It's not prudent at this juncture. So it's just crazy, crazy times and flooding. Yeah, there's some flooding going on. Let's take a look at radar, and you can see that. I mean, look at all these. These are flood warnings. We still have the flood watch. By the way, the flood watch goes all the way into Sunday morning, and today is Thursday. That's the flood watch, the entire area. Uh, these, I know they're red, and you may think that's tornado warnings, but they're flood warnings that are going on in Tennessee. I mean, just right across the border. Um, yeah, there you go. Flash flood warning, part of the flood watch that's going on. This is Gainesboro, Tennessee. I mean, that's just right down the road from Scottsville when you go over on the Tennessee side. Life threatening flash flooding. Now, that should tell you something. It's been raining there heavily all night long. In fact, they've had severe thunderstorm warnings and at least one tornado warning this morning in Middle Tennessee, just across the border. That's crazy. The energy with this system is still that active. So when they say life threatening flash flooding, whew, you got to take that seriously. Flash flooding has been ongoing and will continue due to additional rain this morning there. That also takes in Clay, Macon, Jackson, Overton, Pickett. I mean, all those counties. East Central Sumner, that's Gallatin, and east of Gallatin, Trousdale, that's Red Bowling Springs, Wilson, that's Lebanon. I mean, these are places that we go that's not that far away from Nashville and not far away from the Kentucky border. So, yeah, we're talking about Lafayette, Carthage, Salina, Gainsboro, Hartsville. There's Red Bowling Springs. Uh, yeah, Dale Hollow Lake. See, now we're talking about Kentucky. I mean, most of Dale Hollow Lake is on the Tennessee side, but you're getting awful close to Kentucky. But look at those, look like tornado warnings, but they're flood warnings. And uh, this radar puts those in red. So I didn't want you to think these are a bunch of tornado warnings. But look, we have flood advisories, we have flood watches, flood warnings that are going on um, all over the place. Yeah. So, this is crazy stuff. And we told you that it would be. Let's look at the radar there. And look, I want you to watch how the rain is not moving east. It's just sitting over the same area and it just keeps coming. And that's what's going to happen because the front is laying right there, just west of Bowling Green, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to sit there today and generate and regenerate over and over again. And then look at this back here in Missouri and Arkansas. That's another burst of energy and more heavy rain that's going to come in later. So we are by no means done with this system. It's just the beginning, really. Um, yeah, look at this. Uh, this is from Eddie Fisher. Gasper River and Cave Springs, Logan County is close to the top of the bank. I don't doubt it. That's this is going to be, you're not only going to hear about the Gasper, but you're going to hear about the Rough River. You're going to hear about the Green River, the Barren River. Then you're going to hear about places like Trammell Creek, Dry Fork Creek, some of those creeks around here that are just going to go out of their banks in the next, if not today, um, you know, throughout the next few days. And there's already high water out there. I mean, in a lot of places, just from the rains that we've had lately and the rains that we had like Sunday night with those storms, it's put the water levels back up. And now we're adding to it. That's not good. That is not good at all. Let's check some rainfall levels. I want to go to, let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet because I want to show you, and I haven't seen the totals yet. So this will be new to me as it is to you here at 9:12 on this Thursday morning. First of all, temperatures, they haven't moved much. Now, before the storms last night, if you were watching our live coverage on News 40 and streaming to the app at late last night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I think it was, we were at 79 degrees in Bowling Green, warm, humid air. The rain did cool it a bit, but we're in the 60s, and it looks like we'll stay in the 60s for a little bit longer, maybe getting close to 70 for a high temperature this afternoon. So 60s, but it's humid 60s because of the moisture content that is out there. So let's look at precipitation. I'm going to go. All right. First, we'll look at since midnight, but then we'll look at the last 24 hours to make sure we catch something that came down before midnight. So let's go midnight. Wow, even that is impressive. So you've got 3 inches of rain in Metcalfe County since midnight, and here it is 9 a.m. So 9 hours of totals here. 3 inches, 3 1/3 inches in Scottsville, 2.38 in Franklin, almost 2 inches in Tompkinsville, an inch and a quarter, Cumberland County and Burkesville, right there on the Cumberland River, almost 2 inches in Adair County near Columbia, an inch and a half, Greene County, an inch and 1.43 in Hart County, 2.84 in LaRue County in Hodgenville. Then you get an inch and a half in Litchfield and Grayson County, an inch and 7/10 there in Morgantown. You got an inch and a half plus at the Corvette um, plant there north of Bowling Green. South of Bowling Green, this is the Ag Expo Center, 1.4, 2.12 in Russellville. Goodness gracious. Okay. So all of this is only since midnight. At midnight, the mesonettes reset to zero. So let's do a 24-hour look. Oh my goodness. I told you guys, I didn't know if you believed me or not when I said by the time this is over, we are going to get 5 to 7 to up to 10 inches of rain. And look, just since yesterday to right now, three, three, almost three, two, two, almost two, two plus two, almost three, three. I mean, that's that's a lot of rain within, say, a 24 to, I would say, 20, maybe 30-hour period from yesterday to right now. And this is just the beginning. If it did this, which it could, every day after us through Sunday, at least Sunday morning, 2, 3 today, 2, 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't think we're going to get as much. There's going to be a period, and I'll show you on the maps how it's going to kind of break as the front wobbles a little bit, flexes a little bit. But Saturday is looking like a very heavy rain, heavier than what's going on right now. And so those 5 to 7 to 10 inches of rain, depending on certain places, especially west of us, I think it's achievable. This thing is verifying already. So when we say that this is going to be something that's life threatening, something that could also be historic and could be catastrophic as far as flooding, we're not kidding. Here's a look at the winds. They're light and variable. Not much of a breeze out there either. Just very light stuff. Occasionally, where you get maybe a heavier downpour, you get the winds that transport down from those thunderstorms, and you get a breeze of, 10 to 15. But that's all. Now, I got to tell you, where you guys live, if you live near a creek or a stream or a river, you need to pay attention. I'm not kidding. This is serious. Serious stuff. Um oh, I forgot to show you this. Let me go back and show you the stats from yesterday. Now, this is part of the reason we had severe weather because of the warmth. 84 was the high yesterday. That's 18 degrees below, I should say above normal instead of below. I forgot to type above. The normal is 66. So 18 degrees warmer than the normal. But look at this other line, 4 degrees shy of the record of 88 set back in 1946. Yeah. The low was 56. Now at the airport, just before midnight, only 4/10 of an inch. But that number doesn't represent everything that's happened or fallen since midnight. And yeah, it's coming down hard. Okay, let's go to I want to show you the satellite view because it also helps tell the story of just how potent of a system this is. And there you see the high resolution satellite, thick clouds, lots of thick clouds. But here's something else I want you to see. Look at all these lightning strikes over towards Somerset. There's Lake Cumberland. There's Dale Hollow Lake. They're still getting electrical charges in active thunderstorms, and some of those have been severe even this morning. And without any daytime heating, this is just the energy coming from the Gulf with the moisture, and it's just open for business. There's nothing to tap it down. Usually the rain would do that job, but it's just this is such an energized system that it's still spending a lot of its energy. You would think most of it was spent back in Arkansas and Oklahoma because of the big tornadoes they had, but no. And look at all these lightning strikes back in Arkansas. They had, some big tornadoes right there around Paragould and Jonesboro yesterday. Mountain View also had a tornado. I mean, these are, and look at all that this morning. This is the next surge of energy that I was talking about that's going to come into Kentucky today, and it's going to affect our area. And also, look at this. Now, I was speaking about there's no sun energy, but look what's happening back in Western Kentucky before that next piece gets here. Over toward Benton, Kentucky, Mayfield, Murray, they're seeing breaks in the clouds. Today, that is not good. That is not good. I'm not saying there's going to be a tornado threat. I'll show you the threats here in a moment. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if later this afternoon we get severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe a few tornado warnings. Not your big tornadoes again, kind of like last night. These were the little spin ups. But if we get more sun than forecast, we could have a maybe a little bit bigger tornado. I don't think it's going to be a widespread deal. I don't think it's going to be an outbreak deal. It would be these just very quick, small tornadoes if it happens. But this is not good when you start to see the holes opening up. You may think, oh, good, the sun's going to come out. But in this environment, it's not a good thing. That just adds to the instability, makes things worse. All right, let's move on to the maps. I'm going to go the severe stuff first before we go to the maps. Okay, here's today, and here's why I said what I just said. We're in a level 2 slight risk, but look just across the Tennessee border. And I mean, this goes right up to the border. Uh, Actually, it's been extended north to the border because of the activity that's still ongoing this morning. That's a level 3 enhanced risk, which takes in right at Nashville up to Clarksville, Tennessee, and west. southwest along Interstate 40 toward Memphis. But it's close enough to us that we need to pay attention. Even a level 2 can produce a tornado and severe storms. Well, let's check out the details. Here's the tornado threat. And just like I said, we're in a low tornado threat at 5 to almost 10% chance that a tornado could happen today over Bowling Green or southern Kentucky. But just right across the border, not only a risk of 10 to 14%, but it's hatched, which means any tornado that forms could be EF2 strength or higher. So, right along Interstate 40 and part of 24 coming out of Nashville through Clarksville, then going up past Hopkinsville, that's the greater risk of tornadoes today. But we could get one. We could get one. Here is the damaging wind threat. And just like it's been with any of these threats that have come around the last couple of weeks, there is that damaging wind threat once again. And really, that's probably the primary threat. But there's also a hail threat. We're there with that threat, 15 to almost 30% chance of some hail with any of the stronger storms that form this afternoon. But look, all you have to do is go across the border, and there's that area of 45 to no 30 to 44%. I'm sorry, 30 to 44% chance of large damaging hail. And then the hatches there say that it could be 2 inches in diameter or larger. So we're talking about the possibility of large destructive hail in that shaded area. And here's tomorrow. Now, remember, I said tomorrow, there may be this pause, there may be this break that happens for a few hours. And the severe weather threat, even though we're under a level 1, the level 2, the greater severe weather threat, is going to be in western Kentucky, southwestern Indiana, parts of southern Missouri, the Missouri Boot Heel, and West Tennessee, where the worst of the weather practically has been lately. It's going to be back there. So tomorrow, a minor severe weather threat. But then let's go to Saturday. Oh, we're back in it. Level 2, slight risk on Saturday. And Saturday, I think, is going to be another active day just because the front is going to come back. The low pressure systems will be close to us, and there will be new energy with this system, both for severe storms and flooding rain. By Sunday, everything is gone. We'll have some showers early Sunday, but as far as severe weather and all of that, it'll be over for us. Now to the maps, and I'll show you how everything is progressing. Here is, they even this morning have us in the red zone. And there have been along this, see that little trough, that little disturbance right there? The front's back here to the west, but there is that little disturbance. And it's been along that line this morning that we've seen more severe thunderstorms, even a couple of little tornado warnings, and heavy, heavy flooding. It's an active boundary that's set up right there over the Cumberland Plateau through Middle Tennessee and down into Mississippi. This is the parent front. Here's another little front behind that's actually going to dissipate, but this is the main front that's stalling out. Here is 1 o'clock this afternoon. There's the stall. And look, low pressure system is going to come right over Bowling Green along the front, squeezing out more heavy rain. And yes, we're in the red zone for severe weather. Enough instability to cause severe thunderstorms and maybe a couple of tornadoes. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we go under another tornado watch later today into this evening, but not as late tonight, I don't think. Uh, Here's the stall boundary, moves a little further east, but we're still kind of in that red zone, heavy rain zone at 7 o'clock this evening. Here's midnight to 1 a.m. Things relax a little bit. It's just a lot of heavy rain, some rumbles of thunder like we had last night. I mean, we still had, big rumbles of thunder all night long. I could hear it every once in a while um, early this morning before sunrise. And that's because of the energy that this has. So don't be surprised if, you still hear rumbles of thunder in the middle of the night tonight. Here we go again with another, flexing of that stalled boundary, another ripple of low pressure riding along the front. Red zone, severe weather threat, Western Kentucky, much of Arkansas. This is Friday morning, but everything kind of shifts back to the west for a while. In fact, look, this is Friday evening. Not as much heavy rain, not as much of a severe weather threat because this front goes north. The low pressure systems riding along the front go north, and the really bad weather is going to be shifting west again. But we're not done. Here comes Saturday. Saturday, we start to get some forward movement of the stalled system. Heavy rain comes back. We've got high pressure, and then we've got this boundary to the west that's going to start pushing finally all of this east during the day, Saturday, and into early Sunday. Here's Sunday morning, and we're finally starting to see this thing move away. But the heavy rain will still be there Saturday night. Some of the heaviest rain will be Saturday, as I showed you, um, and into early Sunday morning. And then finally by Monday, we're done. This thing is out of here. Sunshine returns. Tuesday as well, big high pressure takes over and brings us the sunshine. In fact, it looks like much of next week is going to be nice and sunny. There's high pressure taking over. This is Wednesday. Looking good. How about Thursday next week? Now, there's a warm front moving in. There could be some lifted showers and thunderstorms with another cold front behind it. It's not painted in, but, that's a week away. So we'll just not worry about that right now. At least we're going to have some sunny days coming up. And gosh, we're going to need it because I'm telling you, the heavy rain and the high waters is not just going to affect us through the weekend. It's actually the effects of it are going to continue into next week and maybe the week after, depending on how much rain we get, because it's going to take a while for the rivers to recede, and then everything's going to be pushed to the Ohio River and then pushed to the Mississippi River. Everything runs downstream, and it's going to be high water for a while because it's going to take a while to do all that. I want to show you now what the Weather Service has put out this morning. There is our level threat for today. Medium confidence that we will see level 2 slight risk threat of storms today. Then there's that level 3 you see down into Tennessee, just across the border. Waves of showers and storms riding along the stalled front. All hazards are in play. Tornadoes, destructive straight line winds, a little bit lower threat than what we had last night, which is good. And the most likely time for this is this afternoon and this evening. All right. So there's your threat, which I went over. And now let's move to the next slide here and show you the tornado threat. As I mentioned, is around 5% or confidence in it is somewhat medium, close to high. Um, these would be those isolated little spin ups if they happen. So Expect that. Don't be surprised by that if it happens. Straight line winds, well, it's a little bit higher percentage at 15%. And then severe hail, also 15%, but just across the border, hail is up to 30%. Yeah, that's this afternoon and this evening. And then here's tomorrow. The Friday, as I mentioned, Friday threat pushes west a little bit more as the front flexes. And not so much a threat for Bowling Green, but west of us, the threat will still be there. And then here we go with Saturday with the level 2 once again, slight risk, plus the heavy rain, which we'll talk about. I'll show you in a moment. So there's your threat levels. We're going to be mostly in this right here, the level 2 slight risk. Scattered severe storms, short lived, not widespread, an isolated tornado or two, strong wind damage reports, some hail is certainly possible, as I showed you. At least we're not in the 3 and the 4 and the 5 like some folks were yesterday. Now, here is the flooding risk. Wow. When I say 5 to 7, the Weather Service is saying 6 to 8 by the time all this is done. Multiple rounds of very heavy rain expected today through the weekend. Flooding is going to become more widespread through the week as additional storms move along that stalled boundary. The heaviest rainfall may shift slightly over the next few days. Like I showed you for Friday, for tomorrow, it's going to shift a little further west, but then it's going to come back with a vengeance on Saturday. I really am looking at Saturday. The models point to a serious rain pounding, if you will, deluge of rain on Saturday, along with a severe weather threat. So, flash flooding, and we already have flash flood warnings, advisories, flood advisories already going on, widespread river flooding potentially. Now, these are the words of the Weather Service, not me. I didn't make up this line. Potentially life threatening flooding. Their verbiage, not mine, but I agree with it. So if you think I've just used those words to hype this up, I did not. The Weather Service, the experts are the ones saying, "Hey, this is serious." And look, their confidence in flooding is in the high category. When we're talking about severe storms and tornadoes, it's like, the potential is there. Maybe it'll happen, but maybe not. This is 100% that it's going to happen. It's serious. You'll see in the next few days and by the end of the week how serious it is. Here's today's excessive rainfall outlook. We are in the moderate risk, Bowling Green. Look at all that. That's where the more serious flooding is going to take place today. Then here's the Friday excessive rainfall outlook. It does take in part of Bowling Green. There's a more serious threat. The highest risk is back toward Paducah and West Tennessee, even a higher threat than we would be under for serious flooding. Here is Saturday. Now, actually, I think this should be Fridays. They may have, yeah, I think they did. That was incorrect. This is what they've got up here Saturday. This is Friday. They just probably mislabeled the graphic there. But this is Friday. This is Saturday. Sunday, we're not going to have that excessive rainfall. It's Saturday. So uh, I've got a friend at the National Weather Service. And he's the one that's probably, he makes most of the graphics that you see. I'll send him a message and just say, "Hey, I think you've got those mixed up because that didn't look right to me at first. And I understand why now." So Understanding excessive rainfall risk categories, we're in the moderate, slight to moderate, numerous flash floods likely for us. Uh, Flash flooding events, significant events possible. Many streams will flood, affecting larger rivers. And you see all these little dots here represent just how much flash flooding may take place. At least we're not in the high category. We're in the moderate category of the worst of the flooding the next few days. Here is the U.S. Geological Service, USGS, that monitors like earthquakes. They also monitor rivers. And there is a river flood, as you can see here, map that takes in all the gauges. There's a gauge at Alvaton on the river. There's gauges located all over the place. So these gauges, when you see the red circle, that's 30% chance of flooding. When you see the red squares, that's a 70% chance of exceedance, what they call exceedance. In other words, the rivers are going to crest or go over the banks. And then the purple color, again, 30% chance of a major flood, 70% chance of a major flood with the square. So we have, and I can't zoom in on this graphic, but there are mostly circles for moderate to major flood stage. That's the Green River. There's the Tennessee River, the Cumberland River. There's Rough River, Ohio River, Wabash, all of that. Looking at some high potential. There's a few squares in there, I see, but they're kind of bunched together. Uh, Moderate to major flooding in the next few days. That's the Ohio River Forecast Center that puts out that particular uh, product. So, again, just to review, nowhere to go. There's tornadoes, and it doesn't matter if it's a small tornado or a brief tornado or a big tornado. I doubt we're going to get big tornadoes. It could happen, but the confidence in that is lower. But again, like I said, today, if we get severe weather again this afternoon, this evening, I think there will be a few tornado warnings because of that spin, that energy that's in the air. So again, we, go over this. Don't go upstairs. Go down as low as you can go, a bathroom, a closet, just have some place safe to go. Flooding at night. It's sometimes difficult to see the flooding even during the day, but at night it's impossible. And we heard last night while we were doing our live coverage that there were people that ran up on a place where the water was like this and it was just high enough to stall out your vehicle. That happened in a few places last night. So just don't be out in it. It's just not a good idea. And if you think you're going to make it through, sometimes you're not going to make it through and then you're stuck. So as we say, never drive through floodwaters. Um, Most flood fatalities are not people in their homes, it's people in their vehicles. Yeah. All right. I think I think I've preached that enough, but then there are people that are like, they don't care. Here's the 7-day forecast. We're going to get close to 70 today. It depends on if we get sunshine. If we don't, I think we could stay in the mid to upper 60s today. But then there's more thunderstorms, more heavy rain, and yes, a severe weather threat again this afternoon and this evening. 62 tonight, 82 tomorrow because of another surge. That warm front's going to go north and it's going to turn off the rain for a little bit, pause it. That's the word I like to use. It's going to pause it for just a little bit on Friday, but then it's going to come back with a vengeance on Saturday and early Sunday. then it's finally gone. Well, he's got 20% there. I think that's probably incorrect. And he doesn't have, this is Darius's uh, 7-day graphic that he did this morning. And he left off the percentage there, but it's right at 100% on Saturday. But Monday will be sunny. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunny, cooler. Look at those lows, close to freezing. Monday night, Tuesday night, before we warm back up again. Maybe not as cold or cold enough to, have to cover your plants or bring them in. You might have to. Hopefully, it's not going to get all that cold, all that chilly. All right. There's your update. A good 42 minutes worth this morning. Whew. Look, the good Lord just keeps me going. And I'm thankful for that. And you guys keep me going as well with all your wonderful comments, and you're sending pictures and video last night and just telling us what's going on out there. It keeps me going. It's like you guys just are awesome. So thank you so much. Let's hope for not as bumpy of a day as it was last night. I don't think it will be, but there could be a few hours this afternoon and this evening, not late tonight like it was last night, but this evening, some severe weather possible along with the heavy rain potential. Just be aware of that and be safe. I will see you tonight on News 40, WNKY, NBC, and CBS 40 at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight, and also on your News 40 weather app. Boy, that thing came in handy last night because I had it popping up the warnings and all of that, and it was just pow, pow. Here comes lightning. Lightning is 15 miles away from you. Here comes a serious storm. I mean, it just popped those notifications up on my phone screen, and it was like, oh, all right, here it comes. It's perfect for all of this. So thank you. God bless you. Stay weather aware, stay safe, and I'll see you later.